Okay, focus. We made it. Really, I made it, but you made it with me because this is my 100th video after starting this YouTube space with going, I'm gonna say going live, but posting a video every single day for 100 days. I did it. Okay. Thank you for those of you who've been joining me in any part of this journey. This is for me, not gonna lie, this video is for me to really solidify this moment. And this video is for you so we can share in it together because you've been here with me. So we can do this thing. Okay, so I have reflections and insights on having done 100 days of daily posting on YouTube. What? I feel like this is just the breakdown, the beatbox in my head of celebrating this moment. So, yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into it. When I first made this goal, and I was like, okay, Glow had said, like, I took her master class on YouTube. I was like, yeah, I really do want to start this YouTube thing. I've been very intimidated by YouTube for years. I've been in the social media space posting since I started my business, since I started coaching back in 2017 with Facebook. I was there when Facebook first launched live video. I remember being in my car pressing that live button for the first time, feeling all kinds of awkward and weird and exposed. Like, this is real time, boo. You about to press this red button. And just everything that has compiled upon itself when it comes to me showing up in these very public spaces and figuring out how I want to show up and what it is that I want to do. And I have done Facebook, I have done the Instagram. I'm not really a TikTok or Snapchat girl. I haven't, but I was like, YouTube, ooh, that seems like a lot. That seems, it's a lot. And I put videos on here to host. But this 100-day journey, starting with February 1st, 2026, was the first time that I made content specifically for YouTube, showing up specifically for YouTube. And here I am showing up specifically for YouTube 100 days later, 100 postings later. And one of the things that I want to talk about in the beginning are the numbers, because I found myself, and it's like, we don't like it when this happens, cringe. But I found myself in a bit of a comparison moment here and there. My husband's always like, don't do that. You don't compare yourself. You're doing this. Da, da, da. And he's not wrong. And yet and still, I find myself being like, oh, I don't have, like, this is the followers that I have, and these are the numbers that I'm pulling. And sometimes you'll see a video on here talking about, like, look, if you have abysmal views because you're only getting maybe 500, 300, 400, 500 views on your video. And I'm like, that's abysmal. Come on over here to my beginningdom, okay? And I'm pulling 24, 35, 42 and excited about it because I'm grateful for the growth. And that's what I put here, growth, okay? I'm grateful for the numbers. I'm grateful for the growth. And it is absolutely growth. Because sometimes people will tell you, like, hey, yeah, I got 1,000 subscribers in 60 days. And at the end of the day, like, where did you start though? What did you start with, zero? Or did you start with 927? Because that's different. It doesn't mean that that's less of an accomplishment. It's just showing the reality of the growth. And so I will say, I know that somebody will look at my beginning channel and look at maybe the number of subscribers I have and be like, girl, that's it. However, please know that when I started this YouTube journey, please know, and I'm saying this to myself, and I've said this to myself, I started this YouTube journey with 8 subscribers. Like 8. Like, you can count them on fewer than 2 hands. 8. And grateful for the 8. I was like, okay, here we go. And as of now, as of doing this video, I had 80 last time I checked. That, as my husband would say, because he's a numbers guy, is like a 10x, right? But what I see in that is not just the numbers, but I see the growth. Girl, you started with 8 and that compounded to 80. 80 people that said, oh, when you open your, I enjoy having this conversation with you. I enjoy having this journey with you. I would like to continue to do that. I would like to see what else you got in your bag. What can you do for me? What can you open up for me? What can you say, et cetera, et cetera. I see the growth. I see the growth in the number of views on the videos. Again, from the outside looking in, somebody who doesn't know my story is not probably not impressed. Like, why would you be impressed with 27 views or 43 views or 62 views if it's under 100? I get it. And yet I was not getting any views, or I was getting one or two or three. And again, it comes up growth. So, one of the biggest things in even looking at the data and looking at the numbers, right, is that I see the growth, and I'm grateful for growth. And I'm grateful for every person that these numbers represent that's willing to have this conversation with me. You know, y'all, some of y'all been rocking me almost every day for the last 100 days. And that is a big freaking deal. So the numbers, growth, bam. Um, I want to talk about, I feel like I want to talk about something different than this. Boom, boom, boom. But it's not even here. Oh, it is here. Okay. How do I want this channel to feel? And that's a question I've been asking myself lately, especially as I've reached my milestone, the goal that I was moving towards. I'm here. I wanted to post 100 days daily on YouTube, and I have done that. And I've been thinking about, like, well, what do you want folks to feel? What feels good to you? And I want people to feel cozy. I want folks to feel comfortable. I want folks to be able to cozy up with a glass of whatever or a cup of tea or whatever it is and have a real conversation and enjoy me on their phone, in their hand, in their living room, wherever we're having our conversation. I want it to feel cozy. I want it to feel comfortable. I want it to feel beneficial. I want it to feel hopeful for ourselves as we're on the journey of growth internally and learning ourselves and discovering ourselves in different seasons in our lives and wanting to feel like that's not running away from us, like we're able to keep up with our own sense of growth. And that requires some awareness. So maybe the only time that someone can sit with these thoughts and sit with themselves and sit with the kind of relationship they have with their partner and the closeness that they want, and sit with the fear they have over the life that they want to create for themselves or something that they want to do, and they see that, hey, we picked up, sold our house and moved abroad, with our family, and they're like, oh, okay, what is coming up for you around that? How was that? And they come to my page and they feel like, oh, that's possible for myself. Not just moving abroad, but anything that they want to do, anything that you want to do that you've been hesitant to do, but it feels like that's the direction you're supposed to go in your life. And how do you take the steps to be able to do that? I want folks to feel hopeful in this space, like, yeah, I can do that. I want them to feel empowered, right? That I can do that. I want them to feel like I'm your cozy friend that is, you know, dealing out hope and and like encouragement and empowering you to make the decisions for yourself, for you and your partner and your relationship, and for your life that feel good. That's where I'm at in terms of that and what I wanted to feel like. And I feel like that came organically as I was doing this 100 days, and also became a part of what it is that I say to you on a regular basis. If you've noticed in these videos, to end it off and to remind you of that, so that hopefully that'll stick to your ribs a little bit. It'll stick to you a little bit. And I think with that, I also started realizing that I don't want to pigeonhole myself. I have no desire to put myself in a box. And this feels challenging, I'm not gonna lie, because um for a long time being on social media, I was like, okay, I have a business and I need to talk about what I know around relationships and marriage, and spread the message, spread the good word around that, and help folk. And for years that was what I did. And then, I would get coaching, I would get coaching, and they would like expand. You could talk about yourself, you could talk about your life. But then when you talk about yourself and you talk about your life, they're also like, but don't forget to also remind people what you do, because then they're also like, you're just talking about yourself and your life, and they don't really know what you do. You've never said, and I'm like, well, which is it? Can I just talk about myself and whatever I want to talk about in my life, or am I talking about, I'm not talking about the business enough? Like I'm spramped if I do, I'm spramped if I don't. Okay, that's from a show. I know that's not a real word, but I was just like, well, what am I supposed to do here? And it felt more stifling than freeing sometimes around what I could talk about. It felt like it was being reduced to strategy, and it was losing some of that realness that I want to have. That because the realness comes from just real life. So I was like, yeah, I absolutely love what it is that I do. I can talk about relationships till the cows come home. Okay. I can talk about adult relationship. I can talk about communication. I can talk about connection. I can talk about how to connect when you feel like you don't have any time, when you're exhausted. What do you do when you're craving that? What does it feel like to feel lonely, even though you're married? And how do you move through that? What does it feel like to be able to navigate the fact that you guys communicate differently, but have that not be a headache, have that not be an argument, and have that actually be a strength for you going forward? Like, I can talk about these things, I get excited. And also, I am so much as well. And I heard someone say, it might have been Glow. I heard someone say that, like, you are the niche. I am the niche. I definitely came from the school of niche, niche down, niche down, niche down, get specific who you're talking to. And I'm like, here on YouTube, it feels like just show up how you are. Talk about your life. Talk about what you know. Talk about your unique perspective on things in life. Talk about what's really going on in your world and in your life. And that in and of itself, that story has some kind of nugget, some kind of um, magic that will resonate with the right person and the right people. And so I'm in a season here on YouTube specifically, and perhaps the time is just convenient, or perhaps YouTube has its own sort of magic that brings that out. But I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna talk about what I'd like to talk about. Honestly, what I'm going through in life, and not box myself into just talking about communication and connection, because the reality is that's part of life. That's going to come out naturally. The connection that I have with myself, with my partner, with my kids, that's part of my life. That's part of your life. That's part of everyone's lives. And so just talking about who I am, where I am in life, what my season are, what I've learned, what I've been through, and what and how I move through the tough seasons of what I've been through, all of those things actually matter in a way that can be presented really organically, um, and not necessarily from in a little box that this is how many times you can talk about this, and this is how many times you should talk about that. And so, yeah, I definitely question whether I can really just talk about what I want to talk about and that be okay. And the thing is, every video is not going to hit. Some of the videos are like this one made. I'm like, I want to talk about this because I want to remember what I was thinking and feeling in this moment, and I want to share it with you and take you on the journey. But I know, like, this is not one for the algorithm, as they call it. This is just what it is. Musings and understandings and clarity from doing this 100 day of posting, right? Um and I also want to, because I talk about how I want it to feel, just about not pigeonholing myself. Part of not pigeonholing myself, part of not putting myself in a box, because yes, I'm a marriage coach, and that's not going to change. I've been a marriage coach for 9.5 years, almost a decade that I've been doing this work. It's part of me. It's how I talk. It's colored my perspective on things for sure. And also, in part of staying true to myself and not box myself in, I want to expand my creativity in this channel. I want to see how I can play with where I where I shoot and record video, how I record the video, how I edit the video that makes it interesting, and using editing as a tool of creativity and visual expression, but not using it as a way to cut out my mistakes, not using it as a way to make myself sound more polished. I don't really have a desire to do that. And my hope is that the folks that are magnetized to me are here for the natural cadence of conversation. Because if I'm talking to my homegirl, I'm talking to a friend, I'm not polished. I'm not cutting out the spaces, because sometimes the pauses are for a reason, right? You're thinking, or you're pausing for dramatic effect. And yeah, girl, that's how it happened. And then the pause for reaction. Just naturally in a conversation. I don't want to lose that natural cadence. And a lot of folks are saying you got to cut out the pause, you got to cut out this, you got to cut out that, because if you cut these things out, then people will be able to pay attention more, because we don't have long attention spans anymore. We have short attention spans. Okay, we shall see. Doesn't mean I'm not going to ever cut out something, or maybe I've repeated and I'm like, oh, let's cut it out because it's a better experience for the viewer. But ultimately, I still want to have this natural rapport, natural cadence. I want to talk like I'm talking to somebody that's right in front of me and that I enjoy talking to. So I need some spaciousness for that. And what I was nervous about doing was going from a daily pace and a daily cadence to maybe like every 3 to 4 days a week. I need the spaciousness to design, to vision, to get creative, and even to execute on that creativity, to follow through on it. And I'm not doing this. Yes, I'm doing this because it'd be nice to enhance your visual experience, right? How you're experiencing this more than just, for those of you rocking with me just because my head is here talking, it's amazing. But even I sometimes want to see something a little bit different and have a little fun, and I want to play. And so I'm like, yes, I want to do that for you, but also for me. I want to flex some creative muscles that I haven't necessarily flexed in a long time. I want to learn something new and how to make kind of a visual art and what that looks like and what that feels like. I want to take chances a little bit with the method in which I am sharing the information, not changing me, how I speak, how I'm presenting to you, but just adding a little bit more, enhancing it a little bit more so that I can play. That's the selfish part, because I want to play. And so one of the things I think you can expect is the pacing to be different. I did the 100 days, and for me, my goal for the 100 days was to create the habit and to get comfortable doing this thing. Like, boop, okay, I'm here. I'm on. I'm on YouTube. I figured out how to do it. I figured out how to upload. I figured out how to add this end screen situation that everybody has. I'm YouTubing how to YouTube. I'm doing the things, and so this was the culmination of me just showing up and abandoning sense of perfectionism and abandoning what people are going to think about the set or the lighting. One thing that I didn't want to compromise on is audio. I wanted people to be able to hear me, because I think that's important, because you might be walking around cleaning, doing dishes, talking to your kids, what have you, while you're listening to this. And that listening experience, I feel like, should be comfortable. It should be good. There might be some equipment, some things that I upgrade, but I just want to take it to the next level and not jetpack up the mountain and be like, oh my gosh, I'm producing like I have a crew. But take that first step in. I have a vision. How do I execute that? What might that look like if I take a minute to edit it and to play? And I'm not churning out at this pace where I don't have a minute to do any of that. It's not sustainable. And so I'm hoping 3 to 4 times a week is just a sustainable cadence for me. I'm saying that out loud because I want to hold myself accountable, and I want you to hold me accountable, because I really enjoy YouTube and I want to keep doing this thing. But even to make it interesting for me, I got to play a little bit. I want to play a little bit. I want to learn a little bit. I want to try some different things in what that expression of whatever that video is about looks like. Um so yeah. Pacing myself, and yeah, I'm ready for the marathon of that, because I am genuinely curious about what's going to work for me, and I know that I'm still figuring that out. And one way that I'm able to do that is through the playing with it, right? I also feel like I have goals. I definitely have goals for my business. I want to build, um and like I want to continue to build. I want to say community. I'm pausing because sometimes I feel like we use the word community very lightly, and that's why I'm pausing, because it's not my intention to use it lightly. But when I say community, I mean this. I mean, I want to build something here where I start to recognize regulars, if that makes sense. Where I'm in a place like Sally's always commenting on, I see you, Sally. Hey, shout out to Sally. I want to start to feel like I am engaging with the folks that engage with me, like you, that I can't see on the other side of the screen. And I want to be able to see that in my comments. And I want to be able to have like maybe monthlies, not monthly. Let me not put that out there. But in my vision, having some Zoom calls just to like catch up, just having little virtual mixers or something for folks who want to hop on and see each other in real time. And for me to selfishly see faces that are out there, like I want to build to something like that. And yes, in terms of business goals, I want to reach people that also need what I have to offer, that also want to RSVP yes to my invitations. Because genuinely, these invitations are for specific people who know they want to move in their marriage with more intention, that they want to connect, that they want to communicate better, they want to have fewer arguments. They want to be able to smoothly move through disagreements without it being a headache, without shutting down, without going off. Like they need somebody and want somebody to hold that space for them without judgment. And that is what it is that I do. And for those who need that, I want the message to get out that I got you, right? Like, let's start this thing. Like, take the first step and let's move from there. And that's something, like, in terms of when I say lofty, maybe that's not the right word, but in terms of like the numbers I'd like to see and being able to reach, they're numbers that I have not really dared to say, in the past. And I've been doing this for a long time. I've been like, okay, I'm good. I'm good with this. I'm good with this number. And now I'm starting to expand my thought and my vision for more abundance, more connection, and more engagement, and magnetizing the people that are for me and that need what I have. And some people will be magnetized and this YouTube videos will be enough. Like they were like, I just want to hang with you for a little bit and sip this tea. That's great. Like literal tea. I'm not being colloquial. And I want to sip the tea. I don't but yeah, so that that's something that I also have in mind, for myself, around what I want to build in this space. And it takes time. There are people who've been doing this for years and years and years and years, and building for years and years and years. And time and consistency is the key. And I think that's another reason for me, with my life, with my lifestyle, with my kids. Like, yeah, I've proven I can do 100 days. And I could probably do another 100 days. Like, I can probably continue to go on. The difference is I can feel that I'm going to start to have an itch to do something differently than just this, which is fine. But just creatively, I'm like, I got to try. And I just need some spaciousness in between videos and posting so that I can create, so that I can try some things out. And so it's a marathon, and it's a long game. And you know what? I don't really want to box myself in thinking that it's a long game, because you never know. There are people who have come on here and been like, oh my gosh, it's only been 60 days. Nope. Mm-mm. I don't accept it. Okay, I'm sorry, but it's not you. You're not boring me. I'm not boring myself. It's just oxygen. It's just lacking, I guess, even though I'm outside. Because I wasn't expecting a yawn. Excuse me. But I know that there are folks who are like, yeah, and one video went crazy and it just blew them up, in a short amount of time. And that may very well be the case. But my husband's like, treat this like compound interest, right? You start out and you're just steady and consistent. And at some point you get to some point and it starts to double and double and double. You are now in the stratosphere, but you started with like a penny, and that penny kept compounding upon itself. And look what you now have. And that's what I'm gearing up for. I'm gearing up for that piece. I'm gearing up for the tortoise, okay, and not the hare situation. And sustainability for myself and my lifestyle. That's important to me, because if it doesn't feel sustainable, come on now. We don't want to do it. If it doesn't feel like something we could fold into our lives and that is going to make things harder for us in some way, shape, or form, we're not trying to do that. I'm not trying to do that either. I get it. So having something that I can fold into my life, um, and doing it in a way that I can do that for the long haul and not be resentful of this process, because I don't want that. I think I need a spaciousness for that. So yeah, that's a biggie for me. And because I'm like, to tomorrow's day 101, what I'm gonna do? Am I just gonna show up tomorrow? I probably will, because now I've built this habit. But then that next time I want to be able to just edit and to play and to figure out what's my flow look like, what looks and feels good to me, because I actually enjoy that kind of thing. Um, and I haven't been doing it for this first 100 days, so I'll get to do it. But ultimately, I have said this before and I'll say it again. There's this level of trust. There's this level of disbelief that I could just show up and yap and talk about things that are important to me, or talk about something that's on my mind, or talk about a unique perspective that I have on something. I say unique because there's only one me, right? And so my perspective is going to come from my experiences, my experience as fill in the blank, like that's where it's coming from. And so I'm grateful that I kind of got pushed into this a bit. I mean, I pushed myself, then I got nudged. And I am grateful for the growth and humbled by the fact that there are people who just will sit and watch or listen to me yap about things. My hope is that this only gets better. My hope is that I feel cozy enough where you can, curl up with a blanket or your tea or what have you, and just wind down with me and hear something that resonates, that touches you in some way, that um, makes you feel more connected to yourself and to your partner, and to make you feel like, hey, I'm closer than I think to the life that I want to create for myself, the life that feels good to me. All of that is important to me. All of that is what I want to stand on here in this channel. So thank you so much for listening to this. And future Imani, who probably is going to come back to this at some point. Hey, girl, look where you were, girl, in this moment, in this season. And look at wherever you are now, and take a moment to acknowledge that this is me talking to future me, bam. Again, thank you all for so much for checking it out, for watching. For those of you who um don't know, this is my 100th day. Well, you know now because you've been watching this video. This is day 100. I'm just excited that I made it here. It seemed long and also short of posting on YouTube. I'm not going anywhere, even if the pacing may shift. Let's see what day 101 plus brings us. And I make these videos to remind us to stay connected to ourselves, to yourself, to your partner and to creating a life that feels good to you. Okay? Feels good to you. So if that is your vibe, please subscribe. I would love to continue this conversation with you. I would love to continue this journey with you, watch how we can grow together in this space. And I appreciate you. Thank you so much for tuning in, for watching. And I want to see you. I am going to see you tomorrow. Okay? I'm going to see you tomorrow. And then we're going to go from there. Day 101 is coming. All right.